pathetic earthlings. Who can save you now?
All right, so second weekend box office numbers are in for Terminator Dark Fate, and it doesn't look good. It couldn't even crack 11 million, fell short by $200,000 for that number. So it did bad. I checked local listings for a few theaters within like a 50-mile radius, and there's only like 3 or 4 times for the movie now. I'd say this coming weekend will be the last weekend it's in the theaters. 3 weeks for the movie. That's bad. That's terrible, actually. And it didn't do very good overseas. So let's actually take a look at some of the numbers. And Midway did the strongest at 17 million. Doctor Sleep at 14, which is unfortunate. I actually enjoyed it. It was a decent movie. If you like The Shining, I think you'll like it. Had some surprises in there. And then Playing with Fire, Last Christmas, and then there we go. Last week at number 1, Terminator Dark Fate, 10,800,000. Not very good. Unfortunately, I made a prediction. I said Joker would make more money. I was wrong. It fell a little bit short, and it doesn't really matter. It's still doing very good. It's going to probably hit $1 billion. It's getting close. It's already the most successful comic book movie ever made, which is something in itself. I think that movie will hit $1 billion. But don't be surprised if theaters start kicking it out. And I wonder if that's intentional because they don't want this movie to hit $1 billion. We'll see. And then all of the websites are coming out and talking about this. Ouch, Terminator Dark Fate had a huge second weekend drop. Really not a surprise. I said it was going to have a big drop. It was there. The evidence was on the wall. And it was, of course, going to follow the pattern of failure, which we've seen time and time again. James Bond, by the way, will be following this lovely blueprint. If you missed that video, going to be the wokest James Bond ever. I don't know when these people are going to learn. Maybe they still think that the get woketh, go broketh pattern is not there. They're in for a rude awakening as they're going to see that movie be a huge bust. Some of the comments in that video were really good. People, a lot of disappointment. People talking about they're longtime fans of Bond and they're not happy. And I don't blame them. I'm a fan myself. Have quite a few of the movies. Don't have all of them. Just a few select ones that I like a lot. But that's a big franchise that people love. And once again, just like Terminator, they're going to spit their checkbox garbage all over it. Try to make it what they can, and people aren't going to like it. So let's take a look at how it did overseas. It's not doing very good, as you can see. Box office Terminator Dark Fate stalls overseas with 29 million. So I did a video on this before it even released in America, talking about how bad it's doing overseas. And usually, sometimes a movie will do bad in North America and it'll do really good in China or some other country, and they'll decide to make a sequel. This happened with Pacific Rim. Now, the first one, a lot of people did like that movie, including myself. I liked it. They weren't going to make a sequel until, the numbers for the overseas markets came in. I think particularly China is the reason that movie got a sequel, and that's because the Chinese market liked it a lot. That justified them in making a sequel. Now, a lot of the times it'll happen. So just because a movie does bad here in North America doesn't mean it won't get a sequel. But in this case, this movie's just bombing and going down the toilet everywhere. And I'd really like to see the reactions of people in the Chinese market for this movie, because I got to tell you, they're very blunt. So I think that could be a pretty funny video, grabbing what audience members in China said. I might follow up on that. So Terminator Dark Fate faced another rocky weekend in theaters as the 6th entry in the sci-fi saga scraped together $29.9 million from 53 international markets. And that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad because they depend on these other markets to make their money back now, because movies like Terminator Dark Fate, when you throw in marketing and everything, these movies cost a ton to make. So they need other markets to step up and kind of fill the gap now, because you can't just make the money in North America anymore. You can, but it's hard. It's hard. They need other markets to kind of swoop in. So the film is nearing 200 million globally, but that's still pretty bad. It still stands to be a major money loser for Paramount, Skydance, and Disney. Disney actually is footing some money in here because, well, they owned Fox. They own Fox now, right? And Fox was the original person that was putting money into this. I guess they had a contract. Disney absorbed them, so they, of course, absorbed the contract. I don't know if they take over, I don't know if that, voids out any contracts or whatever. I would assume that they're going to absorb whatever agreements Fox had made. I'm not 100% certain on that, but that would be my guess. So the studio's backing the big budget tentpole. Box office experts say the film needs to earn around $450 million to break even and could cost the studios over $100 million in losses, which is a lot of money. Now, I think it's going to cost them more than that. I don't think this movie is going to do very well at all. I think it'll kind of gallop its way towards maybe getting close to breaking even when you bring in, Blu-ray sales, rentals, stuff like that, Redbox, all that good stuff. So I think it'll get close to it, but you got to factor in that this is still a pretty big dud, which pretty much will eliminate any hope for a sequel. And I think that's a good thing. Maybe it's time to just put Terminator to rest. I mean, we had a great film in Terminator 2. Honestly, I don't think it needed a sequel. They should have just left it alone. They did a pretty good job with Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles. Really great TV show that just stopped out of nowhere. That show actually did a good job of continuing the legacy. It's too bad that they stopped it. So anyway, Terminator Dark Fate is now open in 99% of international territories. Disney is releasing the film overseas, aside from China, where Paramount is handling domestic distribution. The movie debuted in Japan this weekend with $6 million, as well as Taiwan with $1.4 million. China is leading the way with $45 million in receipts after 10 days in theaters. Other top territories include Korea with $14 million and the United Kingdom with $8.3 million. By the way, they talk about Joker here. Joker has earned $984.7 million worldwide. It's expected to hit the $1 billion benchmark next weekend. I'm so happy about that because it really just takes a big pile of poop and puts it in the face of journalists and kind of smears it, because they wanted this movie to fail so badly. And look at this. It's now going to be the most successful R-rated movie, the most successful comic book movie, and it's going to, make $1 billion, which is good to see. And hopefully, I know a lot of people are talking sequel. I hope they don't make a sequel to this movie. This movie doesn't need a sequel. I wish they'd stop just making unneeded sequels to movies. Terminator is a very good reason to back that argument up. It didn't need a third sequel, okay? Terminator 2 is where it should have ended. They didn't do that, and look what happened. So that's pretty much it for Terminator Dark Fate. It'll be out of the theaters by next weekend, I think. I think a lot of people are going to start dropping it, especially if you have a smaller theater in your hometown. I'd say it's probably already gone as of today. And it's well-deserved. They tried to do the whole, get woketh, go broketh blueprint, and it didn't work. People hated it. And here we sit. The end of a franchise. I don't see it coming back. This is now the third start of a trilogy that didn't happen. I think it's a safe bet that that's it for Terminator. And I'm glad Joker's doing good. Let that be a testament to ignoring the crazy woke crowd. They don't know what they're talking about. They always just come up short. So anyway, like, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. All of that good stuff. And make sure you leave a like and comment. Engagement points really help creators and videos. It's really important. So that's pretty much it. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that. And subscribe if you're new.